It's the place to be, you're gonna get to know. Restaurants and movies appear, amusement parks and ocean piers, boardwalk built and loved by family. Atlantic City's face, a changing place, time to lead the way. You want to see the old become the new, remember yesterday. Rolling chairs and trolley cars, Ferris wheels and movie stars, boardwalk built and loved by family. Atlantic City, my hometown. Atlantic City, world's playground. Atlantic City star shines near and far, you can see its glow. You get some sand in your shoes, shells in your hand, it's the place to go. Beauty pageants and parades, cotton candy taffies made, boardwalk built and loved by family. Atlantic City, my hometown. Atlantic City, world's playground. Atlantic City, my hometown. Atlantic City, world's playground.
And welcome back to the Postcard Show. I'm your host, Joseph Polillo. This is my twin brother, John Polillo.
How you doing?
We're always in the same seat, so you can see that
No tricks.
no split screen. We're here to flip postcards of Atlantic City, and we'd like to thank you for watching. Please move closer to your television set, and even call a friend and tell them to tune in. We're on every Sunday, 2 p.m., same time, same station.
Start your VCRs and tape it, because this is actual history, and you will probably never see this again, because all this stuff that we're showing you has been imploded, exploded, demolished, removed, it's gone.
Brand new and improved.
Right.
Atlantic City. What we're going to do right now is flip to the postcards. We're going to come back to the, we get a lot of requests for the Vermont apartments and the Hygeia pool. And we wanted to show that, Vermont apartments. In these apartments that stood for some time in the city of Atlantic City, right at the curve of Vermont and the Boardwalk, that building was used for the movie Atlantic City, where Burt Lancaster, Susan Sarandon had their apartment.
Right, they pull up, they have a red top cab out front, and he gets out, and the guys rough them up outside the door, and when they go up inside, Susan Sarandon has this apartment, and Burt Lancaster has this apartment, and they see each other across there. And this is actually Rhode Island Avenue and the Boardwalk in Vermont, ran from both streets. Now you can see it very clearly there. And then everyone always asks us, hey, what about the Hygeia pools? What about the Hygeia pools?
30s.
Well, we're going to show you the Hygeia pools at Metropolitan and the Boardwalk,
Inside
extending east to Rhode Island Avenue. We're going to show you the Hygeia pool building, the pool building and the vacant land behind it, and the lighthouse. Here it comes. Is it all in there?
Yeah.
Yes, here's the lighthouse. Here's the property down Metropolitan Avenue. Here's the actual pool area, this large piece here. And then another pool here, and people have told us that it was saltwater, seawater pools. And this is how it sat on the boardwalk. Now we're going to give you a little bit of a close-up. There's no Vermont apartments here yet. Years later, you'll see that the Vermont apartments will go right in here. Here they are, right here. Vermont apartments, Hygeia pools. Then here's a closer picture, right here. The Hygeia pools. People ask all about it. Well, there it is. And this is where they do it. And they even had a sun deck on the roof, saltwater pools, and the main pools back here on Metropolitan Avenue. From here to the end of my pointer over here was a vacant lot that ran all the way back to Oriental Avenue where Holy Spirit used to play football and everything. And then Heinz Pier actually extends out the side. You can almost see that lot in this picture. Am I correct? Almost right down here, all the way down Metropolitan Avenue, right here. Here's the lighthouse. There's the Hygeia pools, right there. So anyone that wants to see it, you can see it. There it is.
Hygeia Bass.
All right.
Right there.
Actually, their proper name was the Hygeia Baths.
Ocean and pool bathing, hot and cold seawater tub baths, Rhode Island Avenue on the boardwalk, above Heinz Pier, Lansing, New Jersey, open all year, day and night. Water pumped constantly from ocean.
Right, it was salt water, and if you understand the way it was, this would be Metropolitan Avenue outside these windows running up to the boardwalk. There's the lifeguard. There's the inside again.
Whoop, rafters.
They state that from these rafters, the
Former Steel Pier High Diving Act, Joe Hackney
used to dive from these rafters.
Ooh.
See how high they are above the pool. They're
It's like
pretty high.
jumping off the balcony in the Ambassador Hotel.
If you look at the lifeguard position of it, he's up here. If anything happens, he comes right down a slide and into the water. They had slides that zipped you into the water right here. People will remember that. I know that Pinky Kravitz has mentioned that he got a couple swims in before the building went down. There is the indoor pools again. It was similar to every pool they built after that in the hotels.
This may be the other direction, because the slide...
Right, this is in the other direction. This would be the Rhode Island Avenue side, right here, because the lifeguard stands are right over here. This is looking in the other direction. This would be looking towards the city of Atlantic City, rather than as opposed to the one prior to it, which was the Metropolitan Avenue side, with the lifeguard stand.
Okay.
So that's the way the Hygeia baths were for people that always ask where the next subject is coming from.
There's the next subject, horses.
There it is. We're going to show you all the pony rides and all the horses and all the situations of where the horses... At one time, there were 4,000 horses on the island from the United States Hotel property east, and that's how it went. They would ride you on the beach in these buggies.
Donkeys.
With donkeys, little donkeys. All right? And that's the way you went down the beach when the season was over. Not in the summer now, from September to May. That's how you did it, fully dressed.
Fully dressed. There's another donkey.
There's another donkey and someone going for a ride down the beach.
Like Easter Sunday, 1907 or something.
All right? There's the beach and boardwalk heading east. And there's the wagon that would take you down the beach.
And the whip, the wicked whip.
Here's a woman with a whip to spank that donkey to make him take you down the beach.
Let me tell you, the women were into the horses there. This is a classic photograph. Look at that.
Look at that. Isn't that great? That's right here is the Nixon Theater.
Ooh.
You up here, this became the Globe. You can see Heinz Pier dipping out here. You can see the boardwalk from like St. Charles, Delaware, and States. They're probably on the Virginia Avenue beach right there with 3 donkeys. And the cart, even up into the 1950s, late into the 1959s and 60s. These horse and buggies were on the beach, and then you actually could get horses and really take off.
Horses?
Yeah,
real horses, not just donkeys.
There's real horses out in front of the Blenheim and the Dennis.
It wasn't just out in front of the Marlboro and the Blenheim or the Dennis. It was uptown now.
Here it is uptown at South Carolina Avenue and the board.
Ocean.
Tennessee, Ocean, St. James, right in there. You can see the gravity-fed trash container where the trash cans were all bolted to the rail, and you put your trash in them, and then they would put a donkey under it and release the thing, gravity-fed the trash. The whole boardwalk was serviced from the beach and board. They didn't hassle the tourists with a dirty old trash truck or trash collection. It all got done from the beach.
Whoa. How about that? Horses
More
on the
horses.
beach. Looks like daytime, really. It must be winter, right?
Right, that's South Carolina Avenue, the Child's Pavilion, the main tent, and all the horses on the beach. And if you count the horses, you really get up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So you always got 20, 30 horses every street end.
Good thing it was contained just to the winter time, or because you'd kind of step into it, so to speak, right?
Right, there's the beach at South Carolina Avenue. You still see it's getting a little crowded, but yet there's the donkey. There he is. Here's the same pavilion. And here's the horses. All down here, you'd rent these horses and you would ride that beach in the wintertime. This is way back, like 1909, something like that. The pavilion was just put in, the one pavilion.
Blankets on the horse. Must be wintertime.
Here we are. We're at Ocean Avenue and the boardwalk.
Dig it. That other pavilion.
This here is the Young's first pier, which became right now Central Pier or Schiff's Pier. Here's the Mayflower, which was Young's Hotel. And here's the two large, I think Ripley's, believe it or not, is in one of these larger buildings now.
Well, we can put it in where they enjoyed themselves, really, in crowds.
There you go. Now what you see when you see something like this is the Steel Pier.
Where's that?
Right here.
Yeah.
That's the Steel Pier, and here's a donkey ride going down in the cart.
That second pavilion that you kept talking about says Richard's Baths.
Richard's Baths.
Isn't that something?
Then the Child's Pavilion went up. This is South Carolina Avenue and the beach. You can see the Steeplechase Pier went out to about here, and you can see that the Steel Pier went all the way out to the Marine Ballroom.
The horse before the buggy. There's some buggies, cars.
There it is.
The horse in the car.
This is Boardwalk and Park Place. Now they're starting to compete. Here's horsepower
And horsepower.
and horsepower. You can see that this is Boardwalk and Park Place. You can see the Brighton Hotel in the background. You can see the Claridge right here where my pointer is. Is it on screen? I don't think so.
Move it over, Jim.
Hold on.
That's not
Right there's the Claridge.
Okay.
Then you have the horse and buggies and all the horses that you would go horseback riding with on the beach in Atlantic City.
Hello. Out in front of the Blenheim.
There's the horses out in front of the Blenheim.
They must have had a heck of a clean-up time.
You can see the crowd has lined the boardwalk. Down the steps you went down, you rented a horse, and these guys are all ready to go horseback riding right
Hey,
here.
get a horse. Check this one out. This is a classic. Look at that train moor laying up behind there, and
Is that a fabulous shot or what?
the end, gone.
They blew this up in '72. Gone.
Here a little earlier.
There it is years earlier. Horses on the beach.
How about getting modern out in front of the place? Little train moor jazz.
Little horse ride, heading downtown. You could ride all the way down in the Ventnor Market in Longport, and once you got a good hard low tide and you could gallop down there, it was absolutely fabulous.
Just to get another photo in, that's up around, what? New Jersey, past New
No, that's-
Jersey.
This picture's
Massachusetts.
probably taken from the roof of the Hygeia Pools.
Right.
And if you look down in here, which would be Metropolitan to Massachusetts, here's Hines Pier at Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Here's Garden Pier,
At New Jersey.
and then the Steel Pier.
At Virginia.
And if you look at it, here's the horses in the stable. Here's the stable. Here's all the horses down here. Here's people getting horses. You'd come out from under there, get some beach, and you'd get downtown and gallop those horses all downtown.
You know what they say, that this city closed the barn door after the horse had left the barn. Here's a nice one.
There's horses coming directly towards the $1 Million Pier. And then you went under $1 Million Pier if you had a good low tide, and you galloped all the way down to Albany and Ventnor. And
How long has that horse has been on the beach of Atlantic City?
Well, you see the Steeplechase Pier here, and you see the Ferris wheel, which was probably just invented around this time, the merry-go-round, and the parachute drop, and this used to spin you around. This is back in the 1909.
Hello.
There they are. Here's the Traymore, the Blenheim, and the Dennis. And here's the donkeys and the buggies and the horses.
Michigan and the beach.
Michigan and the beach. Busby Pavilion.
Just about Michigan and the beach.
Right.
That's a nice looking.
That's Michigan and the beach. Right here. They put the Busby Pavilion in here, but here's the donkeys and the carts and the horses. That's what you do. The horseback riding every Easter Sunday right there.
ponies on the beach at sunset.
Look at that.
How's
Is that
that?
a shot? Hope there's no glare in that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But there it is. They went horseback riding. They discontinued it.
They dressed up to go horseback riding, too, I'll tell you.
There's a shot right in front of the Marlboro, Blenheim, and the dentist. They're getting ready to do the horse thing.
Well, the horse thing went offshore, too, you know. Went to the racetrack.
Yeah.
That's horses.
The horse is out at the racetrack.
Oh, I should have done it the other way around. Hold a second. There they go.
There they go.
And it's bubble gum sticking to the rail. Girdle
Yeah, you remember
stretching
that?
into the lead. How about this one? Now they're going down the back
stretch.
or the opposite
Yeah,
direction.
now, what's his name's right in here now? Macy's and Sears.
Oh, yeah.
It's in here. Best
Yep.
Buys and everything is over here.
Wow.
There
There
it
you
is
go.
again. It's where they held the rock concert in '68 that they won't talk about. Right here, right? Jefferson
Still out there.
Airplane, Iron Butterfly, Frank Zappa, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. They never talk about it.
All right. Well, you can talk about it.
Yeah.
I left it for you to say.
That's
There
right.
you go. There's horses and bicycles, another modes of transportation. Right?
Horses on the beach and bicycles on the boardwalk.
Well, listen, you got horses, you got automobiles, you got bicycles. Well, what are we leaving out here? Trains and
Trains.
planes and
Trains and planes and
automobiles.
boats and automobiles.
Let's go to the airplane.
Okay, put it up there.
Here's a little Atlantic City story. Bob, look at that, off coast.
There it is, a seaplane landing in the inlet of Atlantic City. That's how they would come down the land and pour into what was known to us as Captain Starnes Inlet Pier and Restaurant. And that's the way they pulled in there.
Then,
Other times they would actually land on the beach at Michigan Avenue beside the $1 Million Pier.
or, yeah, for like an emergency landing.
Right.
I thought this was the first place they practiced bombs with oranges or something.
Right, they started bombing the people on the
I put that
beach.
on there, right? Well, there is a plane on the beach surrounded by the general public. Maybe it crashed. We don't know.
We think maybe it landed, and everyone ran out to see what this aeroplane was all about because it flew through the air.
With the
And,
greatest of ease.
The Wright brothers had just done it, and 3 or 4 years later, these people are taking off from Bader Field and landing on this beach, and you can see a rolling chair going by.
Well, hold on now. Not to be funny. That's a plane on the beach. That looks like an early card, right?
That's right.
Let's see what the date is on it. No date. Okay. But isn't this more modern? Same place? Airplane?
Well, I don't know if it's the same place, but if anybody knows the location that this occurred, you got beach here now in Atlantic City behind the boardwalk, which was only in a few places, so it had to be uptown. Here's a plane that landed on the beach and is right here, and the crowd is all around it.
Like this.
It landed like that.
That's a
You can see
picture
it.
and a half. And then, to make postcards different, they would just change the color. Same photo, add some color.
That's
You
what
see
they
it?
used to do.
You see that? And that would make it more important. But here's a similar photo of the same deck, I believe, the same place, with a crowd there and a sailboat, and it's like a ramp, like a wooden ramp, a boat ramp, right?
We have photographs where this boardwalk comes right down to Captain Starnes and stops, and this is where they would do all the planing and stuff along Main Avenue.
Oh, at the Inlet Hotel, before.
At the Inlet Hotel,
Captain Starnes.
before the train track made the circular, what they used to call what did they call it?
Around?
The roundhouse.
Well, that's where the car barns were for the trains and the other things.
This is the way it would land, and they would pull it up on this wood, and people would board it, and they'd push it out in, it would turn around and take back off again using the inlet.
You mean seaplanes? That's the
Seaplanes.
word.
There it is. You can see sort of the wooden ramp here. Once it landed, it came in, they pulled it up on this wooden skids like.
Hey,
Yeah.
skids.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You hit the skids, the
You hit
airplane.
the skids, yeah.
There's a-
Airplane near lighthouse.
There's an airplane flying right by Old Abe, the Absecon Lighthouse, and the Life Saving Institute on the right.
I heard
This
they
would
found a
be-
piece of that.
This would be Pacific Avenue right here.
That life-saving thing was early, right? Now we have some good ones.
Some actual photographs.
I think we saw this one, but there's a better photograph closer up. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
There's an airplane there, right? Okay, back in 1903 to 1910, this is where they kicked it off.
There it
Atlantic
is.
City Beach,
We
airplanes.
really hope this shows up on the screen.
Show it
If you look
forward.
real close here,
Pulled it into the lake.
you've got the $1 Million Pier.
There.
You've got the $1 Million Pier right here.
Oh.
You can see Captain White's home right here on the right, and you actually see this aeroplane parked on the beach.
There.
There it is. Here's Captain Young's house. He lived on the pier. This is $1 million pier. Here's the plane out on the beach. We'll show it to you again. There's a close-up. And there it is, and the spectators are all around. This would be right in front of the shell burn. It's exactly where that would be. And to show you how they flew around, it was like this. You could sit on the roofs of the buildings, which this would be the roof of the Madison House. You can see that the Brighton's walk path is underneath it here. Here's Boardwalk and Park Place. Here's the Marlboro and the Blenheim. Here's $1 Million Pier. And there's the plane flying by.
On another thing, we had a postcard that it said Atlantic City on it, and you said, well, it really doesn't look like $1 Million Pier because it's got this goofy long building with like a dirigible on the left-hand side and everything like that. If you read the top of this one, it says Airplane Young's Pier, Atlantic City, right? But look at the pier. You see the pier here is what I'm talking about. See that?
Yeah.
With that thing on there, remember that postcard? We said, hey, looks like Asbury Park, or it looks like somewhere else.
Now here's what we figured out. Young's $1 Million Pier is actually, this building here is not the pier. The building behind it that runs all the way out is the pier. We have, through history books, learned that this was a building pier. They called it a pier, but it only went to right there at sort of between Mississippi and Georgia and the beach in front of the Rendezvous Amusement Park. That was this here. They used to call it by mistake the George Avenue Pier. This is the pier that was at George Avenue.
Well, on a future show or something, you're going to have to prove that, because to me it seems as though it's one long pier with a building on it. But in future postcards, show you got proof to substantiate
Right,
what you're saying?
we'll show that to the people, that this pier actually stops right at the back of this building here. It has nothing to do with the $1 Million Pier that goes out to here.
Okay.
But this here plane would be flying around California Avenue on the beach.
And that's the same picture
There's
from
that
before.
shot again. There it is.
Hardcover.
Right.
Copy. Well, that's airplanes. How are we doing with airplanes?
Fine, I think.
What's after airplanes? Planes, trains. How about trains?
How about the trains?
Now, we're going to show this because people have asked us to show it before. We'd like to show you the great train wreck that, as they were coming in Florida Avenue on their trains, this one may have come in a little bit too fast.
There it is. This guy come in from Pleasantville a little too quick.
Over the marsh. And through
I
the
don't
wood.
know what this card's all about, but I think, is this the engineer?
I
Who's
don't
this
know.
guy?
I can't read it.
Well, when we get magnifying glasses out, we'll figure out who it is. Here's the building. Actually, they had the old 500 Club band play at that building in the 70s before they tore it down in the movie King of Marvin Gardens. Remember the band was out there?
Yeah.
But this is the train tracks, and the 4 or 5 car train coming in from Philadelphia flipped right off right off the track.
Well, his name was Walter Scott, and he was the motorman, so I guess they're really, like, convicting him, boy.
Yeah.
His picture won it.
There's the guy that drove the train off the Florida Avenue Bridge and flipped it into the inside thoroughfare. There's another shot of it.
Same photo.
All right, same shot. There he is.
Well, they must have been after his, Jack, because...
Here's the inspectors out on the thing inspecting, like, how the heck could the train wind up in the bay? Well, this guy fouled it all up.
Walter Scott.
He really made postcards popular of the trains, I'll tell you.
Well, I'll show you the old ones first.
Let's show the old ones.
The ones that are tainted
Right.
a little bit.
Here's all the Pullman cars in the water. Here's a train leaving town.
Whoops.
And here's everybody trying to figure out now, how the heck do we get the train out of the water? Because here's one of them, here's the other one here.
It was October 28th, 1906, on a Sunday, on the Atlantic City drawbridge, that a wreck of an electric train from Camden went off the bridge. Everybody talks about it.
There's the bridge, and there's everybody up there looking into the water saying, oh my, there's the train.
Oops.
Oops. The conductor, he messed up.
Motorman.
Here it is here, under the water. Here's the people rescuing the people, trying to get them out of the boxcars and all. Here's actually the part of the engineer's thing that actually saw the train coming in. Here's a train leaving town. Here's the locomotive puffing. Here's the Pullman cars.
The same kind of bridge sits here today.
Same
kind
trestle.
of bridge.
It's called a trestle
Trestle.
bridge. It's there, but now it opens and closes to let traffic go by.
The engineers that invented lifts and cranes and ways to pick things up.
Here's the crane. It's got it hooked onto the train. Here's the train car, like a bus. It had like 50 or 60 seats in it. They're pulling it out of the water.
Now, these are getting better. If you watch, they start to pick up that car that you see on the TV right now. They start to lift it up. They got it up. They got it almost horizontal with the bridge again, the trestle.
We almost have every picture of this wreck. You can see the train. This crane's got the back end. This crane here has the front end. They're using the power of this diesel engine to power the cranes and pull this up and get it back up on the tracks.
Well, this is looking into the city. We should keep this one on a little bit and look back at the city. Can you see much of the city?
All right, if we can move this over here just a hair, you can see where the train went right off here and wound up in the water over there where my pointer is. Here's the control tower. This here would be Florida Avenue. It would come right in what was called Turnpike, Old Turnpike. You wound up, everything wound up in the drink over here.
And the motorman was Walter Scott.
Walter Scott, well, he took a beating on that one.
Here they got it halfway going,
There it is.
Upside down.
Sideways. We have to do one of these with it.
Yeah, that's
but
good.
You can see the crane pulling the train out of the water.
They may have changed their mind trying to hoist it up because it looks like they're trying to drag it up the side.
They're trying to get it up here on the land here, as you can see.
Oh, but they changed their mind. They got it up.
They got it up. We have most of the pictures of this.
Yeah.
I forgot what year it was, a 1904 train wreck. I'm not too sure.
Pretty good.
There it is laying on its side again. I hope you can see all this.
Trying to get it out of there.
All right. Show it up on land, on dry land.
I'll show these two first. That's still, it's really in the ground there. You know, it reminds me of that Amtrak train in Louisiana where everybody was on it and it went straight into the swamp and nobody made it. Bigger picture?
Yeah. I'm showing that one. Show it again.
All right. If you're looking under that bridge, you're looking towards what? Lagoon, Venice Park,
You're looking towards where they want to, the electric company went in here and they want to build a tunnel over there for some dumb reason.
Well, whatever. Listen.
All right. There's the back of the Pullman car.
They're still pulling a number of cars up. I think people died, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get the history of it. But show the inspectors and everybody showing up at this scene after there's the car finally out of the water, sitting on the side. It's all deteriorated and wrecked on this side.
And then the inspectors show up.
Then they start looking at the tracks. There they are. I wonder what happened here. There's the railroad inspectors trying to figure out how the train came off the track.
You know who they're looking for, don't you?
They're looking for the engineer.
Walter Scott.
They're looking for Walter Scott. But here's the inspectors inspecting the track where the train went off. You can see that it ripped the track right up and wound up right over here in the water.
If the train came in, though, it would go into the city, wouldn't it?
When the train came in and got its bearings right and went up Bacharach Boulevard, later Bacharach Boulevard, which was really the train track right away, took you right up to Tennessee and South Carolina Avenue. Here's the City Hall of Tennessee and Atlantic. Here's the fire department behind it. This is actually the train station. And if you can envision this, this is the Guaranteed Bank building or the Bartlett building before that, which is now 1125 Atlantic. This would be the Penn Atlantic Hotel, would go right in here. The train station come up to here. Everyone got off the right side of the train and walked to the Beach and Boardwalk. And that was why the Beach and Boardwalk built up from anywhere from like Virginia Avenue to about Indiana. Everyone went right to the beach.
And not too many people did this, but back in 1900s there was golf, and that's the Seaview Golf Course, the main building. And of course, as you know, that expanded. We have just about a minute and a half to go. That's Seaview on Route 9, Jimmy Lee's Road. You see Jimmy Lee's Road there?
Yeah.
Show them Jimmy Lee's Road.
Jimmy Lee's Road is right here.
All right, back to the hospital
back there,
and Stockton and all that.
The bar is over here. What was the name of the bar? The 19th hole?
19th hole.
There it is, way back, even before they paved Route 9.
Or Jimmy Lee's
Or Jimmy Lee's Road, leading back here. You can see the golf course behind it, and as well as in front of it.
And there was the Northfield Golf Course, which later became, I believe, the Atlantic City Country Club.
Right. They just had a major fire here in the last month or so. They had a sprinkler system put in the 60s or 70s, which saved the day, saved the building. And this year, this guy just probably made a birdie. And that's where the word was coined in golf, a birdie, at the Atlantic City Country Club.
There's the Atlantic City Country Club's front building with a closer shot. We have just a minute to go. We'd like to thank everybody for tuning in and to tell your friends that on same time, same station every Sunday, we're here. There's a double split up. Okay, well, that's the golf courses.
There you go. Show them one more
There you
time.
go.
Here's the front and here's the back.
All right.
All right. Which wound up in the hands of,
And it goes back to 1915. I don't know. Who do I end up in the hands of?
well, Molly.
New York has its lady, San Francisco the Bay, Paris has its tower, London its queen. The town I was born in might change from old to new. That's something I must tell you. I've got sand in my shoes. I'll never leave Atlantic City. I'll never go too far away. I'll never leave Atlantic City. On the boardwalk, the song, people come every day, take in the sun air, walk on its beaches, might ride in rolling chairs. When they look at the brand new, think of the old days, things they used to do. Atlantic City, my hometown, I won't forget Atlantic City. I'll never leave and